Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I've done a video, but I got a good chance today. Got the day off, beautiful weather. It's September 4th. I'm up here in the high peaks region of Maine. I'm hiking South Crocker, North Crocker, and Redington. I haven't decided yet. You can either do this as like an out and back hike or as a loop. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. Either way, it's a really decent hike. So I figured I'll see what I'm feeling like when I get up there and what the trail conditions are like and decide along the way. So the hike starts as this short, like a half-mile old logging road walk before it meets up with where the Appalachian Trail crosses this old logging road. And then once I get to that intersection with the Appalachian Trail, I'm going to take a right off of this road and head north on the Appalachian Trail, headed up towards the summit of South Crocker Mountain. From there, I have to continue along the Appalachian Trail and head over to North Crocker Mountain. And then I've got to backtrack back to the summit of South Crocker. And then from there, it's considered a bushwhack, but it's a really well kind of packed down trail from what I've seen and heard, over to the summit of Redington. And then at that point, that's when I'm going to decide if I want to just come back over South Crocker a third time and retrace my steps back to the truck, or if I want to take a different route down from the summit of Redington and take kind of like old logging roads off the backside of Redington and turn this into a loop. If I do a loop, it's going to be roughly 11 to 11 and a half miles and about 3,300 feet of elevation gain. But if I do an out and back, it knocks about 1.5 miles off of the total distance, but you add about 500 to 600 feet of elevation gain. So, yeah, and we'll see what we decide when we get up there. We've made it to the junction with the Appalachian Trail. You can see the white blaze on the rock right there. So we're headed to South Crocker Mountain to start, and then from there North Crocker. And this sign doesn't have any info for Redington on it, but that's on our list for destinations as well. Up we go. Made it to the Crocker Cirque campsite junction, 0.2 miles out that way. There's some nice views looking up at Crocker from there, but I'm going to keep on heading up the AT up to South Crocker Mountain. This is the part of the trail that I've heard gets quite a bit steeper. And it looks like that is the case. Up we go. This is what we're going up. That's looking over at North Crocker, our first viewpoint of the day. Looking right at the Bigelow Mountains right there. Avery Peak on the right, West Peak on the left, and North and South Horn, and that's Cranberry Peak. beautiful up here today. I got my date wrong earlier. Today's the 3rd, not the 4th. You can see it's 8:30 in the morning. We're at 3,400 feet. Got a little over 600 feet to go to reach our first summit, South Crocker. It's beautiful in here with all the moss. Well, I'm getting there. I've only got about 200 feet left to reach the summit of South Crocker. I'm not going to lie, that stretch after the Crocker Cirque campsite was very steep. It's definitely mellowed out now. It's a nice gradual incline now. It's beautiful woods in here. There's so much moss. But that little stretch back there was pretty rugged. This is much more reasonable. Glad I'm not doing this on a hot, humid day. When I left the truck, it was 43 degrees, and there's a nice breeze up here. All right, we made it to our first summit, South Crocker Mountain. We came up that way. Summit viewpoint 50 yards. That way, I'm gonna go check that out, probably have a snack. And then we'll continue down this way, headed towards North Crocker. Well, the sun's right in my eyes, but it's still gorgeous up here. Looking right at Sugarloaf, and then Spaulding Mountain. 2 more 4,000 footers I have to do. And then the one back there is Mount Abram. Also one that I've got to do. But I'm looking forward to all those. Beautiful up here. You can see some big cuttings on the side of Mount Abram. I'm going to take a quick break up here, have something to eat, grab a drink, and then I'll head to North Crocker. You can see where we're headed. That's North Crocker over there. We're headed down between the 2 peaks and then back up that one. That's our highest point for the day today. A little over 4,200 feet. And then we've got to come back up this way after. It always stinks going down when you know you have to go back up the same section again. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like we dropped down too much in between these 2 peaks. We were just over 4,000 feet back on South Crocker. And I think we dropped down to about 3,600 feet. And then we head back up to just over 4,200 feet. So not too terrible. We've reached our second summit for the day and our highest peak, North Crocker Mountain. I've seen different measurements for elevation. This sign says 4,168. I've seen like 42, 28. Either way, easily a 4,000 footer. The Appalachian Trail North continues that way, but I'm not going to be headed that way. I'll peek around up here for a minute, and then I'm going to head back the way I came, back to South Crocker. Nice viewpoint here up on North Crocker. I'm looking due west. Over there is actually Saddleback Mountain, a big peak in the middle there, and then the Horn right there. 2 4,000 footers as well. I've already done those. All right, I'm headed back down off of North Crocker, back to South Crocker. I'll take another break on the summit of South Crocker, and then I'll show you how to find the herd path that they refer to it as, to find the trail to Redington. Gotta head back to that peak through the trees over there. That's South Crocker. It looks so far away, but you get there pretty quickly, thankfully. This is actually a neat spot up on North Crocker. I'm looking southeast, so that's South Crocker over there. That's where I'm headed next, and then from there I've got to go down that ridge line and then over to that peak over there, which is Redington, and that's our final 4,000 foot peak of the day. Kind of a neat perspective. Alright, I've made it back to the summit of South Crocker. Just came from that way. There's the summit viewpoint sign pointing this way. So we're gonna go hang out up there for a little bit again. But if you're looking for the trail to Redington, you've got to come up this way. There's a little fork off to the right up here. Points right over there. And the trailhead to Redington is over through here. Alright, one last look at the view up here from South Crocker before I head over to Redington. (4,018 feet). It's 10:18 in the morning. Making pretty good time. Alright, so if you're looking for the trail from this point to Redington, you head back down here. And then the main trail goes down to the right. But we're actually going to come over here. It's kind of like this little open, almost like a tent site, but not quite. And then you can see this little orange ribbon in the tree with a piece of rope next to it. This is the way we're gonna head. You can see, oh, there's another pink piece of ribbon right there. You can see it's overgrown a little bit more, but it's well trodden. So it should be pretty easy to follow. More pink ribbon here. Alright guys, I'm going to keep trekking along the way down this trail, and I'll check back in if I see anything interesting. This trail through here is really cool too. Also, tons of moss. I'm not going to do a lot of video though because it's a little tighter in here. I'm just gonna make everybody dizzy. But you can see it's a nice packed down trail. Very easy to follow so far. You keep getting little peeks through the trees. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, kind of that ridge line over there, that's where we're headed. Alright, I'm just emerging from the woods onto this old logging road. We're gonna take a left and head up that way. It's a pretty cool spot though. Beautiful view here. All the fir trees. Looking back up at North Crocker. Really cool spot. So we're just on this for a minute here, and then we tuck back into the woods. When I head out, I'm going to be hooking up to this old road in a different area and taking a different network of roads back out of here. And just like that, we head back into the woods. It's marked by this orange tape in this tree and this little cairn here. And the old mossy logging road continues that way. In we go. Looks like another really neat mossy trail. Very cool. Through the trees you can see where we came from. First we summited South Crocker, went over to north, then back to south, and now we're here on Redington. Still got a little ways to go. A little overgrown, but still easy to follow. So we came to a little trail network. There's pink ribbon here. We're headed up, so we're gonna keep going that way. But when we come back, we're gonna go down that way. And this will hook us back up to those logging roads. And we'll walk those out. Get a change of scenery. And the nice thing with that is it turns this into a loop versus an out and back. All right, we made it to the summit of Redington. Gonna scour around out here. Oh, I just found the sign for it. And I feel like I remember somebody said if you go down this trail to the right of the sign, you'll find the canister. I'm gonna go check it out. Yep, there it is right there. Sorry for the close-up video. So this is another one of those elevation discrepancies. Old readings way back then had this just under 4,000 feet, but with newer technology, they've updated maps and elevation, and this is just over 4,000 feet. All right, so I'm gonna take a break up here, probably have my lunch. It's 11 o'clock. We'll hang out for a little bit up here, and then we'll head back down that different way, kind of see some new scenery on the way down. Just a little viewpoint up here looking back at North Crocker. Looks so far away. Found a pretty good spot right here. I'm gonna sit right here and have some lunch and head back down. All right, we're headed back down off of Redington. We're gonna get back to that trail junction with the ribbon and the trees take that right, and that'll hook us back up to some logging roads. And then from there, it's just a couple turns on different logging roads, and we'll be headed back to the truck. I think I still have 5 or 6 miles to go, but it's all downhill taking this route versus going back up over South Crocker again, which you can do, and it's very doable. And that's what most people do. But I like this route because it gives me a new change of scenery. So, and most of the miles they should be pretty easy by the sounds and looks of it. So through the trees here, we're looking right at Mount Abram, and down in the valley, there's like a big bog and a pond. That's Caribou Pond, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna be headed pretty much down to that. I don't think we go quite to the pond, but very close to it. It's another cool section of trail. Well packed down in amongst the balsam fir, lined with moss. I'm on that new section now, so this is all new scenery. This trail is incredible. Just lined with moss. First little junction in a bit here. If you go up that way, that'll take you back up to the original logging road I came out on when I was going up Redington. I just came from that way, and we are headed this way. You can see I'm on a pretty good logging road now. Obviously not a new one, it's an old one, but not in use. But it makes for really easy walking, and beautiful too. This would be a really good area to see some moose. I'm sure I won't see any because it's middle of the day right now. But if I was coming through here early morning, I'm seeing lots of moose sign in here, which is pretty cool. I know they're out here. All right, we're at another trail junction. It's really amazing in here. It's a bigger old logging road, and we're gonna take a right. And we're headed down that way. We just came from that way. All right, we came from there. It's like this old gravel pit. Probably when they were building this road. And we're headed down into the valley. We head down that way and then we take a hard left. We've actually got to end up going like all the way back in that direction over there. But we're gonna follow these roads. Back up at Redington, and the Crockers are behind the trees. We're headed down this way now. We took a left. You just see the shoulder of Spaulding Mountain. And pretty soon we'll get views of Sugarloaf as well, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna keep hiking these logging roads. The great thing about walking these old logging roads like this is you make really good time. And the mileage for doing this loop was, I think it's either 11 or 11 and a half miles. But I think these last 5 miles or so down off of Redington, once you got down off the mountain into this valley here, you can make really good time. It's very easy walking. I wouldn't want to do it on a really hot day, as I could tell this area bakes in the sun quite a bit, but today is perfect. It's chilly out, but the sun actually feels nice today. You can just see the summit of Mount Abram poking up over that ridge in front of us there. Very cool. It's a neat area because we're completely surrounded by 4,000 foot peaks. We've got Mount Abram kind of to the south, southeast. We've got Sugarloaf and Spaulding to the east, northeast. The Crockers to the northwest. And Redington to the west. And we're in this kind of bowl in between all the peaks. This part of the trail, or this road, is pretty overgrown with alder. Still easy enough to follow, but there are a couple areas where you have to pay attention. Really, you're just trying to follow this corridor that's cut through these fir trees. All right, I think this is our last turn we're coming up to right here. We take a left. Oh yeah, there's Sugarloaf right there. We're gonna start heading back that way now. Kind of a neat perspective, looking at the backside. And that just keeps going out towards Caribou Pond. It's just a small, marshy moose pond out here. We're headed back this way towards the truck. We're back on Caribou Pond Road now, which is the road we're parked on. We just have, I think it's about 2.5 miles to walk down this. It's a beautiful river out there, right at the edge of the trail. Well, this has been an incredible hike. Like I just said, I've still got a couple miles left to go, so I'll keep recording some video clips and stuff of things I see along the way, but should be pretty smooth sailing from here on out. This hike is kind of, it's got info written about it that says there aren't a lot of views from the summits, which there aren't from the summits themselves, but there are viewpoints from each peak. So you don't go the entire time without nice views. And then just doing this loop, if you have the time, it's really incredible. Oh, there's a really neat waterfall down here. I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah, that was worth a little side trip off of the actual trail here. I could see it through the trees and it looked really neat, so I figured I'd go check it out. Glad I did. Well guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I've just got a little bit, probably a couple tenths of a mile left on this road, and then I'll be back at the truck. What a great day in the western mountains of Maine. Hope you enjoy watching this. Now would be a great time to like and subscribe. I'm hoping to be able to get some more videos out a little more regularly going forward. now that my work season's slowing down a little bit. It's kind of, we're heading into our quieter season, I should say. So I'm hoping to get a little more time to do stuff like this. Until next time, thank you for watching.